was he really? Why does everyone fear his name?
He was built by the hate they fed him, every scar, every betrayal. He wore it like armor. They tried to break him, but he rose a man of wrath. He wasn't born a monster, darling. They made him one. And then he made the kneel.
I didn't rise because I was loved. I didn't grow because I was nurtured. No, I was forged, hammered and welded in the fire of your hate. Every glance of disgust, every whispered insult, every lie passed around like gospel. That was the fuel. You gave me poison, and I drank it until it made me bulletproof. I wasn't born with steel in my spine. That came later. That came after the world spit in my face and told me to stay small. That came after they laughed, after they turned their backs, after they slammed doors and called it fate. I didn't get strength from comfort. I got it from scars, deep, jagged, and permanent. They never understood what they were doing. They thought they were breaking me. But hate is an architect, and pain is a builder. They didn't destroy me. They drafted blueprints. They laid every brick in my fortress. Every lie they told was mortar. Every time they looked past me, like I didn't exist, another wall went up. I didn't collapse. I built. They gave me silence when I needed truth. They gave me fists when I needed hands tonight. They gave me darkness when I was reaching for light to save us all. But I didn't fade. I adjusted my vision. I learned to see in the black. I found strength in what was meant to end me. I walk through fire now. Not to prove anything, but because it's colder than what I came from. I'm not afraid of the burn. I was born in it. The flames don't scare me. They remind me of home. I remember the days they said I wouldn't last. I remember the looks, the whispers, how they all talked like I was a footnote in someone else's story. A side character, a misstep, a glitch. They saw failure when they looked at me. They didn't see the storm they were summoning. But storms don't need permission. And I don't need validation. I never did. I was built by the hate you gave me. And now I carry that hate like armor. It doesn't weigh me down. It lifts me. It pushes me. It reminds me of everything I survive. Every time someone tried to erase me, I've carved my name deeper. Every no sharpened my claws. Every closed door thickened my skin. There's no softness left in me, no room for mercy. Sympathy is a language I forgot, because while they were hugging comfort, I was learning how to breathe underwater. While they were basking in approval, I was choking on rage and learning to turn it into power. They'll never understand what it feels like to be built from nothing, to look around and see no one, to scream and have it echo back, unanswered. They don't know what it's like to hold your own broken pieces together with trembling hands, to whisper to yourself, just one more day, just one more hour. But I do, and I don't want their apologies. I don't need their recognition. They can keep their empty words, their late empathy, their fake concern. Let them stare. Let them wonder how I became this. Let them pretend they weren't the architects of my rage. Let them play innocent while I become legendary. I don't bleed like they do anymore. My wounds turn to warnings. My pain turned to prophecy. And I walk with a quiet fire now, of the kind that doesn't scream, but burns everything it touches. I don't explain myself. I don't owe anyone my softness. That was taken, that was burned away. I have no sympathy. I have no regrets. I have no chains holding me down. The past is dead, and I have risen from its ashes. The pain that once defined me is now my weapon. The suffering that once weakened me is now my armor. Every tear, every scream, every drop of blood, I wear them like a crown. I do not seek approval. I do not need acceptance. I am beyond such petty things. I walk my own path, one carved from fire and fury, and I do not look back. The ones who doubted me will see. The ones who abandon me will feel my presence like a shadow that never leaves. The ones who betrayed me will know what it means to face something they cannot break. And so I changed. I built myself anew, brick by brick, bone by bone. I tore out the parts of me that had begged for kindness, ripped apart the illusions of hope and dreams, shattered the chains that had kept me docile. I stopped waiting. I stopped pleading. I stopped caring. And in that silence, in that emptiness, I found something else, something stronger, something indestructible. The fire that had once warmed others now burned only for me. The hands that once lifted others now clenched into fists. The heart that once beat with love now pulsed with vengeance. They wanted a villain, so I became one. I was broken, but I did not shatter. I was crushed, but I did not disintegrate. Every time the weight of this world tried to smother me, I became something else, something greater. Every scar, every wound, every betrayal, they did not make me weaker. They forged me. They sharpened me. They made me into something unstoppable.
No apologies, no remorse. What they called a monster, he calls friend. He didn't become cruel. He became necessary. And now he answers to no one. No apologies for what I've become.
I didn't break. I burned. They thought I'd crumble into ashes, but instead, I became fire. Not warmth, not light, just heat. Scorching, blinding, unforgiving. I've scorched every illusion, melted every false promise, and set ablaze the lies they fed me. I am not sorry. Once I waited for closure. I begged the heavens for answers. I prayed for peace like a starving dog scratching at a locked door. But peace never came. Only silence, heavy, echoing silence that wrapped itself around my throat and dared me to scream. I didn't scream. I swallowed the silence and let it sharpen inside me like glass. They don't get to ask for the old version of me. That version died choking on betrayal. I buried that self with no ceremony, no tombstone, no prayers, just dirt, grit, and clenched teeth. The world didn't mourn, so why should I? I was forged in abandonment, tempered in humiliation, hardened by betrayal. Every time I reached out and found nothing, a new piece of me turned cold. Steel crept into my bones. Ice settled behind my eyes. And still, I stood. Still, I fought. Still, I kept moving forward through the wreckage they left behind. I remember the day I stopped feeling sorry. I remember it like a knife remembers blood. I stood in front of a mirror and didn't recognize the reflection. I saw someone stripped of kindness, of softness, of mercy, and I liked it. That face didn't beg. That face didn't bend. That face didn't break. That face was mine. They said I changed. Good. That was the point. They whispered that I became cold, distant, cruel. Let them whisper. Let them choke on their own shock. They think I became a monster. I just stopped bleeding for people who handed me the knife. I am not a mistake. I am a consequence. I am the ripple from the stone they threw without thinking. I am the storm after years of drought. I am everything they didn't see coming. They didn't think I'd rise. They thought I'd stay broken, a shattered thing clinging to pity. But I let the pity die. I buried it next to hope. They asked why I don't smile anymore. Because there's nothing amusing about surviving hell. There's no punchline in pain. I don't find jokes in betrayal, and I don't make small talk with ghosts. I walk past the graves of my old selves every day and keep my eyes forward. Regret. That word is a foreign tongue. I don't speak it. I don't dream of undoing the pain. It carved me into what I am. It taught me to walk with a straight spine and a loaded heart. I don't regret becoming this. I regret ever being soft enough to believe I wouldn't have to. I have nothing left to fear. Not failure. Not loneliness. Not death. I've danced with all three, and none could hold me. I've buried the past. I've scorched the future. All that exists is now. This moment, this breath, this fire in my chest that refuses to burn out. There's no more room for doubt in me. No more space for regret. Every tear I shed became a stone in the throne I now sit on. Every heartbreak, fuel. Every betrayal, proof. I keep receipts in my bones. I don't forget. I don't forgive. I transcend. I am not bitter. I am not angry. I am focused. I am clean. I am absolute. While the world plays games and sings lullabies to comfort their broken egos, I'm in the trenches, grinding, sharpening, perfecting. I do not seek peace. I seek excellence. When I close my eyes, I don't see rest. I see war. I see the next mountain. I see the next battlefield. And I welcome it. Because that's where I thrive. That's where I come alive. Not in safety, not in applause, but in pressure, in pain, in the kind of silence where most people lose themselves. But I found me. I am the legend who suffered through darkness and hell and kept going. Let them talk. Let them mock. Let them doubt. I don't move for noise. I move for results. I am not here to prove anything to anyone. I already proved it to myself, and that's all that ever mattered. Do you understand what that means? It means there is no mercy in me anymore. No hesitation. no softness. I move forward, unrelenting, unstoppable. The weight of the past is gone. I've burned it to ash. What remains is power. What remains is clarity. What remains is me. I rise because there is no one else who will do it for me. No one to extend a hand. No one to lift me up. I had to drag myself out of the abyss, clawing and bleeding, fighting for every inch, and I am proud of that. Proud because I know now what I am capable of. I know the lengths I will go to. I know the fire in my veins will never be extinguished. Not by them, not by anyone.